and spiritualism. Today, I'll teach you some concepts, some ethics on human consciousness. If we consider consciousness, it is not a process which takes place in your brain, but it is being controlled by your brain like the other behaviors. The word consciousness and conscious, these two altogether covers a wide variety of mental phenomena. Consciousness is otherwise known as awareness, which covers both internal and external existence of a human being. Philosophers, scientists, they went through a severe debate regarding existing the phenomenon of consciousness, and they finally give an output that it is a puzzling and a controversial word to get explained with a particular platform. Though it is a very familiar word, but very mysterious parameter in human life, consciousness. We can't tell a person is conscious just seeing that person from outside. We can't tell the person is conscious if he is doing a good action. So there are various parameters which governs the property of consciousness. Philosophers have distributed consciousness in 4 different ways. Some people says knowledge is general. Some says intentionality is there. Some says it is the introspection, and some says it is the phenomenal experience. So 4 parameters altogether represents your consciousness according to philosopher. And some people says it is a mental activity which is being carried out in day-to-day race. And if you ask a general person about consciousness, he will explain you that it is a thought process, it is the feeling, it is the awareness of a person about the surrounding, the environment, its knowledge, and the other perceptions that is being carried out with the person. This consciousness is different than self-consciousness. We can't tell a person conscious if we find that person is self-conscious. Consciousness is different from self-consciousness. How it is? Let me explain you. If I am a person, I am very self-conscious. I know what is happening in my surrounding, what way I have to proceed, what I have to do. That doesn't mean I have a very strong consciousness. Consciousness is something which is not within you or which is not in your surrounding. It is a combination. A person is conscious means he should have both internal and external facts about his own, his surrounding, the entire universe, everything which is associated with him. So students, you must be knowing about Albrecht, the author of Superhuman Creator, who has written a very good book, How a Superhuman is Being Created. According to him, the definition of consciousness is that all agents which perceive and act is a conscious person. So consciousness is a fact which covers different paraphernalias, different parameters, and it has different parts. Some explain that the concept of consciousness can be divided into creature consciousness and state of consciousness. These 2 parameters, when we talk about the creature consciousness, it is an animal, a person, or other cognitive system which is regarded as conscious in a number of senses. Different senses have there. Generic sense, in the sense of awake, in the sense of half sleep, in a normal day-to-day activity, whatever it is doing, it is called the creature consciousness. Similarly, if we talk about the state of consciousness or consciousness state, then the notion of consciousness, mental state, has a different variety of parameters. It can be taken into consideration as quantitative modes or qualitative modes, access to consciousness, more functional senses, narrative consciousness, consciousness as an entity, the whole universe, the entire surrounding of yours, the entire environment, and a person itself. So, human consciousness has three labels. We can categorize it like this: consciousness, pre-consciousness, and unconsciousness. So, according to mythology, these three words, consciousness, pre-consciousness, and unconsciousness, represents it, ego, and superego. And consciousness, an organism or an individual who is having the awareness, it happens from inside and outside of that particular organism. It is not related to any kind of changes in the body metabolic parameter or any kind of changes in the surrounding parameter. It is related to the person itself. Then comes subconsciousness. Subconsciousness is the level just below the level of awareness. The person is subconscious. It contains thought, it contains ideas, it contains some hallucination, and which comes out of the awareness. Then comes the third parameter, which is your unconsciousness. It is a very deeper level of awareness in which the person remains in a state which is not conscious, and it contains different thoughts, different desires, different aspects of life, which we directly know through the knowledge but implement it in a different sense, in an unconscious sense. Now let me explain you the stages of consciousness. When we think of the stages of consciousness, it is directly related to the body clock management. Your body is managed with a clock and the activities are managed according to that clock. Okay? In total, if you see, this body clock management is called the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm means it is a rhythmic flow and rhythmic flow of activity throughout the day which the body execute. You must have seen many people who are very lazy in the daytime, and when the time passes, it reaches the evening, they become very energetic. There are some other people in the morning time who are very energetic. By the evening, they become very lazy. So it depends on the body clock management system, how the circadian rhythm is managing your activity. There is a daily fluctuation of energy level, and this fluctuation of energy level plays an important role in human consciousness. This fluctuation of energy level is called the circadian rhythm. That I will explain you later on. But with reference to some activities of the body clock, this has a very important impact on consciousness as well as a wide range of philosophical states of human mind. Then let me explain you sleep and consciousness. Sleep has fascinated many researchers. Many researchers have tried to explain what is sleep. Many scientists, many scholars from thousands of years, they are just after researching on the parameter how we'll explain sleep. The technological innovations during the last century allowed scientists to study sleep in ways that simply were not possible in the past. And this has helped everybody to lead to the theory of sleep. Nowadays, hundreds of theories are available on sleep, theory of sleep. Then if we correlate dream and consciousness, then at some point of your life, you have probably had a truly baffling dream and let you wonder, what does that mean? Okay. It means dreams are difficult to remember, some of the dreams. And people often experience different sensations, there are different strange type of dreams that we see. Sometimes dreams very frequently becomes illegal, and the activities in the dream, it gives an influence on the human mind, and there are so many parameters through which the dream can be well explained with respect to the state of the human being. Consciousness can be explained in the view of yoga and in the view of Western activity, which is called as the modern consciousness. So, in the view of yoga, if we consider consciousness is nothing but it is the Chaitanya. Chaitanya means something which exists within you, but it gives an aura outside you. Consciousness or Chaitanya is an unobstructed awareness of self, the surrounding, time and space. And its nature is the existence, knowledge and bliss absolute. So, we can take it in this way that your consciousness is Sat, consciousness is Chitta, and it is the Ananda which you are getting out of the surrounding. In the same time, it can also be considered as Atman or Brahman in case of Vedanta. So, Atman and Brahman, these two terms, if you consider, what is Atman? The person who is very happy with his or her surrounding activities, who is completely out of the surrounding situation, whose mind has kept him or her in a state where he is seeing everything, he is accepting everything, but not incorporating things to his thought process, to his body language, or to his own mind state. Okay. Similarly, if you go for the modern view of consciousness, it is a term that refers to the relationship between mind and the world which it is interacting with, the world in which it is interacting, and the state of mind, the relationship between mind and your surrounding. That gives you the view on modern consciousness. It has been defined as subjectivity, it is being defined as the awareness, the ability to experience, to feel, the wakefulness in you, whether you are awake or not. It is having a sense of selfhood, that I am existing, and it has an executive control on the system of mind. That means my mind is under my control, which is not there in case of yogic consciousness. Okay. The earliest substantive study of human consciousness probably occurred during the 6th century BC, and consciousness was conceived during the period of Lord Gautam Buddha. He is the first person who explained the meaning of consciousness, how a person can be conscious, how a person is capable of controlling the entire activities of his or her own mind and concentrate on himself, concentrating on the situation, concentrating on the well-being of everybody and keeping the peace of mind. In contrary, if you see the modern concept of consciousness, it is often attributed to John Locke. He explained in his essay, which explained very well about the human understanding. This was published in the year 1690, in which, according to him, he explained the perception of what passes in a man's own mind is called the consciousness. That means whatever perceptions are going on in your mind, that's what is called the consciousness. And slowly, this consciousness is well explained in your Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Always, if you take the case of Lord Krishna always taught Arjun about the consciousness. How a person should be conscious about his activity, about his action, about his surrounding, about his family, about his friends, and all the parameters together. So, in the beginning of 17th century, some of the European philosophers, they started acting upon this mysterious word consciousness and conscious mind. After a series of serious studies, then consciousness became a branch in philosophy. And this again referred to metaphysics. And if you see further, Schrödinger's wave equation in physics, he explained that it is difficult to measure the position and the velocity together. The position of a matter and the velocity of a matter together. Why it is so? It is being related to your consciousness. One can't measure the consciousness with reference to a human being. It is something, if you are seeing the human being, you can't tell about how much conscious he or she is. And if you measure somehow the amount of consciousness the person is having, then it is difficult to establish the position of that particular person. Okay? So, giving different aspects of metaphysics, slowly the research was carried out on how to establish what is called the consciousness. And according to the psychologists and scientists, philosophers, etc., they started explaining that consciousness is nothing but it is a cognition, perception, it is a language, it is a belief, it is an emotion, a sensation of pain as well as of pleasure, the awareness of self, the awareness about sleep, the fact about dreaming, and the relationship between the body and mind. And again, the psychologists, what they started doing, they started merging together psychology and brain science. And in the middle age of 19th century, if you see, consciousness again became a very rational and systematic study pattern, and it took a pickup and everybody started working on what is consciousness. Okay? Then human consciousness phenomenon were considered to be too subjective in nature. People started working on how human brain is acting, how the circadian rhythm is maintained, how a person can very well do the activity being conscious, what happens if the person remain unconscious, what is the pre-consciousness, every aspect they started establishing its scientific parameter, and slowly it gave a very good impact on the society. Now let me explain you the science of hand and its correlation with your consciousness. You just see, this is a human hand. This is on my palm. And this particular palm has a very big connectivity with your mind, with your brain. So what happens? Each and every activity which happens, man just study it in his mind and it gives a simulation or a signaling to your hand. And hand operates the thing. If you see for the base of the palm, okay, this base of the palm, it is a center of consciousness for human being. It is not only the brain which is sending different signals to different part of the body. One of the part is your palm. Most of the signals are associated with your palm, then it goes to different systems in your finger, this nervous system, and accordingly, suppose I'll give you an example. A mosquito is biting here in my hand. So what will happen? Immediately signaling went to your brain and your other hand came just to slap that one, or it will just remove that particular insect. So there is a very strong relationship between your hand and your brain. Altogether, human consciousness. Hand is a part of the consciousness. This one I'll explain you later in my coming lectures, and I'll explain you what is the science of hand and how it is linked to your mind. Now you can see the things which I explained you earlier. Then human consciousness and the phenomenon which is happening are considered to be too much subjective in nature and not conducive to the experimental analysis. That means everything we can't put it into the experimental analysis. Each and every part of consciousness, what is the emotion, we can't take it into any experimental analysis. This is one kind of a religious feeling and a behavioral parameter and a psychological parameter altogether, which gives a competence to the human consciousness. Then in the late 1980s, the subject came neuroimaging, brain mapping, and the science of artificial intelligence, AI. After all these parameters came into existence, a new generation of research takes place to investigate the human consciousness. The new discovery about human brain, neuroplasticity, and further the stimulated consciousness research take part, and people started working on the different aspects of your brain. Very recently, the neuroscientists, they have started working on the concept of Buddhism, the concept of meditation, the concept of dharana, the concept of different activities that saints are doing to acquire consciousness. And according to them, they have adopted many technology and they could see that it has a tremendous effect on neuroplasticity. The end result of all these discoveries or research, everything, it has come to an end that consciousness is a field where tremendous aspects are there, tremendous branches are there, and several areas are there on which research can be carried out, and we can go a step ahead to establish the science of consciousness. Then, if you ask me, what are the forms of consciousness? How consciousness can be explained in a form? Then, I can explain you this in two views. One is the yogic aspect, another one is the modern aspect. In case of yogic aspect, again, the consciousness is divided into two parts. One is the general, samanya, which you tell, and another one is particular, which is called the vishesha. Means particular to a particular surrounding, a particular object, a particular situation, a particular mindset, that is called the vishesha. The general consciousness or samanya is the Chaitanya, Samanya Chaitanya, that exists unlimited and it is unaffected by time. And the space in which it is being utilized, it is unaffected with all the surrounding parameters. And in general, it is called the consciousness of a human being. Then comes the characteristic. If we keep on explaining, then question may arise like, which is the absolutely full and what is the state? What is ether? Okay, we generally explain a state called ether state. Okay, and if you see for the Pancha Mahabhuta, in Pancha Mahabhuta, state of ether is the vacuum. So, the full consciousness or absolute consciousness in general can be taken as the ether. Okay, and it has got many names, many forms, many states, and many type of acceptance. It has existence, it has a particular nature, it has a knowledge, and it has a bliss absolute. And this is a formless, it has no form, it has no quantification, it has a quality parameter, and it can be explained as an absolute in a whole. Then, let me explain you. Different people. I am a human being, you are a human being, X is a human being, Z is a human being. So, if I'll illustrate this one in this way, if I'll show you a rope, a piece of rope, if I'll show you, and one person, if I'll ask a person, what is this one? The reply of X may be, it is a rod. Somebody seeing the rope can assume that it is a snake. Okay? And somebody may tell that it is a mathematical or geographical or geometrical lining, and somebody may tell, seeing a rope from a distance, that okay, it is a line of water which is being seen like a line. Okay, so it depends on the mindset. Who is accepting the parameter like what? Similar is the Chaitanya or general consciousness. Different people accept it in different way. I may tell consciousness means my brain is highly alert. Somebody may tell consciousness means I know Bhagavad Gita, I know this Sanskrit, I know all the spiritualism very well. So it depends on the people, their mindset, how they explain the spiritualism and consciousness. And there is a very good correlation between spiritualism and consciousness. So, if you see, the common form in all the explanation is, if I am putting a rope in front of everybody, all will say, this is, somebody is telling a rod, somebody is telling a snake, somebody is telling a line, somebody is telling it is a line of water, somebody may be telling that it is a partition. So, this is, when we explain the rope, the term comes, this is. That means, this word is common in all the parameters. This is a rod, this is a snake. So, this is means it has got several explanations. This particular object, it is same, it is a rope, but it has got different perspectives in the eye of the person who is seeing that one. And similar is the consciousness. Okay. It continues to exist during illusion and continues even after the illusion is over. Okay, this continues like this. So, Samanya or the general consciousness is a form of truth. It is a form of truth, and it is also a illusion. It is a truth and a illusion. So, these are two contradictory parameters which exist together. It is a contradiction. It is a perception between different forms according to the mindset of different person. If we consider what are the parameters that attribute to consciousness, let us talk about Atma and Dharma. People say he is a good soul, he is a good Atma, and the person who is exhibiting, he has exhibited all his dharmas very nicely. Okay. Then comes the vichar. Then different aspects are there of consciousness. So, if we consider which are the things that attribute to consciousness, first is the eternal, Nitya. Nitya means it is the eternal, it is the thing within you that contributes to consciousness. Second one is your imperishable. Imperishable means that the thing which is within you and you are slowly just nurturizing that one to come into existence. Then comes the process of purity. Consciousness is pure. And then oneness. Oneness means consciousness brings oneness of mind. Then comes different aspects, the field of the body, the support of the surrounding, the unchanging habit of a person, the self-illustration, self-analysis, and different more aspects which are associated with you. Then one question comes into mind, is the consciousness same in case of all the human being? I am a human being, you are a human being, your parents are some different human being. So, is the consciousness same in case of all the human being, all the individual? If we consider this one in the yogic view, okay, in case of yogic analysis, it is being found that although consciousness is one and same in the entire creation, not only for the living beings but also for the inert and lifeless objects, but consciousness is in deep sense is called the insensate object, the state of dream. And the awakeness of an animal or the expression which somebody imposes in view of its spiritualism, in view of its eternal qualities, in view of its surrounding. Those who are enlightened mentally or whose mind is enlightened, they just shift to the purest form. They transfer from a lower state to a higher state, and there they realize the basic ethics of life. That life is not only what we are living. Life is something which is beyond our living. Okay? You must have seen many of these great people, when their picture is being shown, a great aura is present around them. What is that aura? That is the complete consciousness. It is the eternal power. It is the sense of a human being. Okay? And same thing, if you consider on the basis of modern view, then all the scientists, they have given different aspects of consciousness. Some says that it is a memory, some says that it is the activity, some says that it is the way how to lead your life, and this is being nowadays very well explained on the basis of this artificial intelligence, and we are best analyzing it by the digital memory. Means there are different instruments like EEG, which is just noting down all the waves that is generating in your mind in a particular situation, and that wave we are analyzing. There are alpha wave, there are beta wave, which is coming out of your mind. Beta wave means you are highly conscious, your mind is stable. Alpha wave means you are in a disturbed state. So all these things in the modern view now is well explained on the basis of consciousness. Let me explain you what is the consciousness about a particular or Vishesh consciousness. It is the reflection of consciousness in fourfold of mind. Okay, and it is called the particular consciousness or Vishesh Chaitanya. That means human body. It is concentrating on a particular part. Consciousness means it is something which is covering the whole of the surrounding and the environment and the person. But if it is a Vishesh consciousness, that means my entire mindset is for God. I am thinking about God. My consciousness, my mindset, my action, my activity, everything is contributed to God. So it is concentrating around a particular substance, that is God, existence. If I am thinking of my mother, so my consciousness entirely goes around my mother. How is she? How she has brought up me? How she is doing the activity? Where is she now? What she is doing? So this is a particular consciousness which is called a Vishesh consciousness. It may be with God. It may be the relationship between husband and wife. It may be the relationship between parent and children. It may be a relationship between the teacher and student, we people. Okay, consciousness between us. It may be between friends, me and my friend, or you and your friend. So different aspects, but it is specially belonging to someone. Okay, that is called the particular consciousness. And it has got a limited time and space. Okay, that means about Ishwar, if I am thinking, there is a limited time and there is a limited space. My thought about Ishwar is this much. It is not that whatever I am thinking, the same thing will enter into your mind about consciousness. So, altogether, if you see, it is a thing which is completely associated with time and space. Okay, and if you see, in general, the consciousness, Vishesh consciousness, is related to waking, dream, and deep sleep. Okay. One is your waking, when you are awake, then when you are in a dreaming mode, and when you are in a sleep mode. Okay. Let us take an example, the light of sun. It is equally distributed on each and every object that is present on earth. Okay. But its reflection doesn't take place everywhere. Sun's light, it won't reflect everywhere in the same way. Okay. And somewhere it is more absorbed, somewhere it is completely reflected. That's what is being explained as a phenomenon in environmental chemistry. that
So students, it will get over within a half minute. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
तो थैंक यू। नेक्स्ट क्लास से फिर जो बाकी है तो बाकी लगाऊंगी, फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा डिस्कशन